Am I the astronaut for insisting my niece pays for my daughter's surgery? My niece, Andy's 19 baby, 15 months, grabbed a hold of my daughter Kayla's 13 earring at Christmas and ripped it completely out. Okay, I'm so confused. So the niece is Andy, has a 15-month-old baby who grabbed a hold of an earring and ripped it out. The earlobe requires plastic surgery to fix to look nice again. It was quoted for around $2,000 in the ER, but the nurse said she couldn't give me an exact quote and gave me some recommendations for plastic surgeons. The ER trip was a nightmare on Christmas, and it was a 2-hour wait while my daughter was in pain. The whole time I was waiting in there, my sister or Andy didn't bother texting my daughter or me to apologize or to even see how she was. My husband, my daughter, and I are so mad at them, I want to take Andy to court if she doesn't pay for the surgery. The surgery would be considered elective because our insurance has labeled it as cosmetic and it will come out of our pockets. Andy said she can't afford to pay for the surgery, even though her baby just walked up to my daughter unexpectedly and ripped the earrings out of her ear. They said it was an accident and things like that happen. I have 3 children and none of them have ever done something like that, and I would be embarrassed if they did, and I would apologize and offer to pay. My sister called me a biatch for even suggesting Andy pay because Andy is saving up to move out. I don't think my request for money is unreasonable, but Andy and my sister have blocked me from texting, and my husband is insisting if we are forced to go to small claims, he wants pain and suffering added to the surgery bill because my daughter's ear hurts so much and Andy never once expressed concerns over Kay's injury. Am I the astronaut? I feel like there are some different sides to this. 19-year-old would have been holding the baby. 15-month-old? I mean, 15-month-old, they can run around at that time. So the daughter, my niece, Andy, 19, baby. So 19-year-old. So the 13-year-old is the one who had the earring ripped out. We've read other stories before where we've talked about kids who cause intentional damage to things and parents being liable, and I do believe that. There was a story about a teenage girl who dumped paint on their aunt's really expensive looking coat to film it to make content, and like ruined a multi-$1,000 coat on purpose. That's a different kind of thing. I feel like this is an accident. There's got to be some kind of middle ground here, right? Like as a parent, if Navy Thunder walked over and ripped somebody's earring out, I would feel terrible about it. I would want to help in some way, but it's also an accident. Being willing to take somebody to small claims court, which, by the way, I feel like if you got to the point where you tried to take this to small claims court, I don't feel like you would have a case. I feel like if you tried to take this to court, and especially when you tried adding on pain and suffering, a judge is going to look at that and be like, okay, this is a money grab. That's what adding on pain and suffering for this feels like. My mom got her earring ripped out. Whenever we must have been kids, we called it her hamster butt for a long time. She used super glue to keep it back together for like years and years, and probably still has it that way. I don't know. It was the first thing that came to mind. But I mean, it was an accident. Now, them not being concerned at all and being like, hey, how's she doing? Them not reaching out at all. Yes, that sucks. But at the end of the day, it is still an accident. I don't think you're going to have any kind of legal case here. It'd be great if they offered to help out in some way, if they could. But it sounds like they're not in a position to be able to offer anything like that. So I don't know what you expect to happen here, but I don't feel like you're going to have a case if you try to take this thing to court. Candy Thunder, I want to get your thoughts here. Come on over. What would you do?
I actually have a scar on my face. I know you can't really see it because of the lights, but it's right here. And our insurance company said they wouldn't pay because they had to do plastic surgery to repair it. But once they found out that it was an accident and what happened, the insurance company paid for it completely. So I feel like this guy is really embellishing that the insurance company wouldn't pay for something that was an accident. They went to the emergency room. They have evidence of what happened. So it is an accident, and you can't sue for pain and suffering in small claims court. So,
okay. So what happened with you is a likely path here too, right? Where it was probably after you went and saw a specialist, or got.
Yeah. So the emergency room doctor sewed it up, and it caused more damage from the way that he sewed it up from the original thing. Like, so they had to go in and fix what he did. Right. Basically.
Okay. So, but the ER, which sounds like is all they've seen here,
right?
They aren't able to give you any kind of further information about that. Somebody who is a specialist,
right,
in this case, probably a plastic surgeon, they would be able to to preface this as an accident and probably get at least some kind of insurance help on it. And again, it would be great if they were in a position to be able, like, hey, we'd like to help pay what we can, but I don't know that that's possible for them.
And for them to say an ER nurse quoted me how much this would cost, I don't think there's any ER nurse out there that's going to say this is going to be $2,000, because that ER nurse has no idea how much it's going to cost to have surgery, anesthesia. It's like no one's going to know how much it's going to cost to have all that. So I've never had anyone at a hospital quote me anything unless I talked to somebody that was in that department. This whole thing seems embellished.
You make
to
a
the
really
extreme.
You make a really good point here, and that is if they took even if this ER nurse threw out a ballpark number, it's like probably around this, the fact that OP used that number to ask for reimbursement on, or asks the other party to pay with, and then is talking about pain and suffering on top of it, it feels like a money grab, right?
Mm-hmm.
If this were a hey, we really appreciate some help here or something like that, it would be a different kind of thing. But there are too many signals in here that make it feel like a money grab, and that's where it gets weird. It's not like, hey, it was an accident. This is the path we're gonna have to take. If there's any way you guys can help, we would really, really appreciate that. It is just like, we expect you to pay the whole damn thing. And I mean, you are responsible for your children if they do damage, but I don't know how this would be treated.
I would just like to know how OP responded whenever this happened. He or she, I don't know which one it is, but whenever this happened, it feels like that OP probably went apeshit crazy, and there may be a reason why they didn't reach out based on OP's reaction to this situation. If this was Navy when she was 15 months and she ripped out someone's earring and it caused harm, I would be overly apologetic, and I probably would offer to pay and help for what insurance didn't cover. But this guy sounds like he's full of BS to me. This was a baby that did this. 15 months as a baby. The baby didn't intentionally go up to someone and be like, hey, B, let me pull your earring out and cause you
let me get that
pain and suffering and harm and distress.
You look like you need a hamster butt. Come
I
here.
want to make sure you have cosmetic surgery. Yeah, no, there's no freaking way. So this guy sounds like he's causing his own pain and suffering by being an absolute asshole about the whole situation. That's my take. I know people feel differently, but that's just how I feel.
You make a lot of good points that I hadn't thought of. And yeah, there are just that many more signals here that make it feel like a money grab. Now, hopefully, it's a 13-year-old girl. I know it would suck to have that
for sure. And
hopefully, when they see a specialist, they'll be able to get insurance to cover it, because it's not just cosmetic. It was actually damaged, so it's repair at this point. And hopefully, they are able to get some kind of coverage from it that way.